Hello again, guys. I got an email a few days back from a company called TinyDeal asking if I was interested in taking a look at some of their phones and tablets and quadcopters and whatever else. And the first thing that they chose to send out to me to take a look at is this little box. This is a Bluetooth earbud set of headphones. It's sort of a hybrid, interesting thing. So I told them I'd take a look at it and let them know what I thought about them. So included in the box, I see here, this is the second earbud. This is actually the little thing that makes this kind of weird and unique in my opinion. But we'll get back to what you actually do with this here in just a minute. You've got a bunch of different tips and things that go over your ear, things to try to make this a little bit more comfortable for you. You have a very short micro USB cable. This is literally less than 6 inches long. You have some product documentation, the overview, how to charge it, how to play music with it, and all of that extra stuff. And then the product itself. This is the Tronfi iWork Mini 4.0 wireless Bluetooth 4 earbud, earpiece, headphone. It's got a really long name like a lot of these things do, but this is effectively it. So what you end up doing is you turn this on, you pair it to your phone or tablet, and you put it in your ear, and it's wireless, you Bluetooth, you talk through it or you listen through it. But again, what makes this sort of special and unique to me is it's one little earbud that you can stick in your ear, but you can also stick this little USB plug in it, and now you have a set of earbuds. You put one in each ear, and you're good to listen to your music or talk on the phone or whatever else you want to do. So I'm going to take just a minute, and I'm going to hook this up to my phone, I'm going to see how it sounds, and I'll let you guys know. So before we move on, I wanted to go ahead and give you a quick look at the whole setup, how everything goes together and what comes in it. So this is what the earbud itself looks like. We've got it standalone. You plug the USB plug into it, and then you've got a set. Now, if you look very closely at these though, you'll see that the tips are actually just a little bit different. It shouldn't make a massive difference between the two. It might make a difference in sound, I really don't know. But what it does affect, as far as I can tell, are the tips that can actually be used with it. So here is the set of tips that actually comes included. Before we go any further, these are the pieces you can use to actually fit this thing onto your ear. Unfortunately, these don't work for the other side. So while I love the ability to have something that goes over my ear, it'd be nice if they could do it for both ears, but none of these would actually fit over this other one. This section right here where you'd think it would go is too small for it, and this section back here is too big for it. So effectively, you've got this large section here that can encompass any of these, and they're all kind of similar. These two are similar to each other, these two are similar to each other, so it looks like you've got two pairs, but there isn't actually anything to hook it onto on this one. But then moving on through the tips that are actually included, there's a lot of not matched pairs here. These two, the little tiniest ones here, are actually kind of matched. These two are similar, but as you may be able to see, the hole in this one's just a little bit smaller than that one. Just like these two, they're not exactly the same size. These two are pretty similar to each other, so this might be considered another set, but then you've got some oddballs out, some ones that don't actually have any matches. This little 3-pack over here of ones that have the little 3 sections, and they're all different sizes. These two are just slightly different from each other. So I'm really kind of confused as to how this is all supposed to work. I would assume that the smaller one goes on the smaller tip and the larger one goes on the larger tip, which just makes it kind of awkward if your ears are the same size, or if maybe your left ear is slightly larger than your right ear. In my case, I think my right ear might actually be just a little bit larger, so it's not such a big deal. I have already gone ahead and paired this up with my phone, and I have tested it out a little bit, and so far the sound has actually been pretty decent out of it. I've tried it both with and without this little earpiece, and it stays in my ear surprisingly well. I'm not very good with earbuds usually, but this I could actually see using. So what I've been doing with it so far is I just put these little ear cups on there. There you go, there's one, and then you put the other one on. You sort of just kind of cram it on there and hope that it works. There you go. So you put these in your ears, you tap and hold the little power button on it, and it powers on. If you hold it a little longer after you power it on, it goes into Bluetooth pairing. Then you sync it up with your phone, and you can go ahead and start playing music on it. And as you can see right here, it does say headset battery status Mini 4.0, and it shows up in the tray there. You can see the battery level that is full. And there's really no way that I can tell you how it sounds. There's no way that I can show it to you. What I kind of figured was that this would be awkward because it's, a little piece that's jutting out, but this part sticks out from your ear far enough that you don't really even notice this. And because it's a circle, you can kind of move it around until this is comfortable. So I've used it pointing down so far. But just to give you a quick look at it, this is how they look. They fit into your ears kind of like this. I run them behind my head so they can just fall down whenever they fall off. Stick one in one ear, one in the other ear, and it actually blocks out an awful lot of sound. Not so much in this ear for me, but I think that's just the tip that I've got on. Like I said before, they don't match up quite right, but when I hit the little button there, starts playing my music for me again, and it's got some decent bass to it. It's got a nice seal to it, which gives it a better bass. So it's definitely better than I kind of expected, and there is a volume control. That's what the other button does, and I would assume you can hold that button to change tracks. Yep, I just changed tracks by doing it, and you could probably double tap it to go back. No, double tapping does not go back. But still, the ability to move forward to the next track or pause. Okay, so you can actually make phone calls with it as well. This is when I double tapped, it tried to call the last number that I called on my phone, so don't want to do that right now. So first impressions of these, they're a little awkward. I mean, it's very nice to be able to have this one little device that you can poke into your ear that is not connected to anything. You press a button and you're immediately listening to music out of one ear and your other ear is free. That's great for work, that's great for traveling. And at the same time, if you want to expand them, you do have this option available. The sound quality is decent. I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's decent. I've definitely heard a lot worse. And the price point seems quite reasonable. I'll put a link to where you can find them over on Tiny Deal because they're the people that sent them to me, but they were actually shipped to me from Amazon. So I'll put the link to where you can find them on Amazon as well down there. I think they're $19 on Amazon right now. So for something that can act as an earbud, I haven't been able to actually test them as an earbud in terms of talking to somebody with them yet. Maybe I'll make a quick call to my wife and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so I went ahead and I did a quick test with these. I actually just made a phone call to my wife to see how they worked. And she said it sounded fine on the other end. It just sounded like I was a little bit far away, like I was in a tunnel or something. So the microphone is usable. I'm not going to say that it's amazing or anything. The audio quality from the call was not terribly good. I was kind of surprised. Given how good that the local audio sounds coming from my phone, I was able to hear her and understand what she said. And it was better once I actually plugged the second one back into it because I had it just the one earbud in. And I was able to understand her, but if it was low, I couldn't hear her, and if it was high, it got muffled and garbled. So there's not really a good middle point there. So I don't know if I'd want to use these as a primary talking on the phone type thing, but for music, especially like if I was walking or something, I could see using them for that. And actually, while I was on the phone with her, I went ahead and checked Amazon again. These are the version 3.0 of the iWork 4.0 things. So instead of being $18.99 like I thought they were, they're actually $16.99 for the black ones and $14.99 for the white ones. So at that price, it's really hard to say no to it. I might like it a little bit better if the ear tips were the same size all around. There are some that are the same, but for these little weird ones that fit in your ear and stay a little bit better, like that's not coming out. I would prefer it a little better if there were multiples of these in the same size, because these are not quite the same size. So I've got one ear that feels very nice and secure and one that doesn't feel as nice and secure. That's just a little bit of a gripe there. But still, at the price point, if you can find a set of ear tips that will fit, and more likely than not, these are pretty standard size, so you should be able to find them. If you've got another set of earbuds, you should be able to find some that will fit you and will stay in your ear pretty well that way. But that's probably going to be about all from me for today. I'm going to keep using these here and there and give them a shot. Thanks so much to Tiny Deal for sending these out my way. Links to where you can find them down in the video description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to receive more videos when they become available, and I will see you again next time.